Now, as we all know, at the end of World War II, Germany was split into two halves. But did you know so was BMW? Now, although a large chunk of the company was based in West Germany, there was one plant on the eastern side that was separated from the rest of the company, and they continued on as EMW.
Marvelous. Artificial intelligence skin.
Now, BMW's official records puts the company's founding date at 1916. At that time, they were known as BFW, Bravo Foxtrot Whiskey, or in German, Bavarian Flight Works. The company's first product at that time was an inline-six engine for planes. Now, the BMW name actually traces its origins to another company, which was founded in 1913 as Raab Motorworks. They were an aircraft engine manufacturer, and they renamed themselves as Bavarian Motorworks in 1917 after its founder Karl Raab left the company. Now, it is popular belief that the BMW badge is the representation of a rotating propeller, but it's actually not quite true. You see, this badge here was created as a combination of elements of the original Raab Motorworks badge, as well as the blue and white of the Bavarian flag. Okay, so we have these two companies, Raab Motorworks that was founded in 1913 and Bavarian Flight Works that was founded in 1916. In 1917, Raab Motorworks renamed itself as Bavarian Motorworks, or BMW for short. In 1922, an Austrian banker by the name of Camillo Castiglione was the shareholder in both these companies, and he bought the rights to the BMW brand from Raab Motorworks and transferred it over to Bavarian Flight Works. So this original company that created the BMW name, well, they went on to be a part of Knorr-Bremse, and they are still around today making brakes for commercial vehicles and trains. Bavarian Flight Works, meanwhile, took on the Bavarian Motorworks name, and it is the reason why official BMW history records 1916 as the official birth date of the company. Now, at the end of World War I, this BMW was banned from making aircraft engines. So they went into making motorcycle engines. And their very first motorcycle engine went to power the Helios, which was launched in 1920, the first motorcycle by BFW. Later, when BFW bought over the rights to the BMW brand, the Helios was then renamed as the R32, and that became the first ever BMW Motorrad motorcycle. Now, the car-making chapter of BMW's history didn't begin until 1928, when they bought over a company called the Eisenach Vehicle Factory, which at the time was making a licensed copy of the Austin 7 called the Dixie 315, which after the takeover, of course, became known as the BMW 315. Now, throughout the 1930s, BMW actually introduced a wide range of automobiles, but their car production was halted during the Second World War when the company was asked to focus on aircraft engine production for the war effort. During that time, forced labor from concentration camps were used, and it is a chapter of the company history that they aren't particularly proud of, but it's acknowledged. And an official apology was even issued on the company's 100th anniversary. Now, during the war, BMW's plants in West Germany were all subject to heavy bombardment, and after the war, they were barred from motorcycle and automobile production. During that time, they were forced to rely on making kitchenware to survive. But the funny thing is this, the Eisenach plant, which was where BMW started automobile production, was situated in East Germany. That plant was seized by the Soviets, and whilst the real BMW was barred from making cars, the Eisenach plant restarted production and were rolling out pre-war BMWs for a time. In fact, they were even carrying the BMW badges, and the plant even went on to develop its own car, the BMW 340, which was basically a 6-cylinder sedan based on the BMW 326. This status quo lasted until 1952, when the BMW plant in Munich was finally able to restart automobile production, and they pushed through a lawsuit that allowed them to reassert control of the BMW brand themselves. So with this development, the Eisenach plant was forced to stop using the BMW brand. So they now called themselves Eisenach Motorworks, EMW, and they changed the blue section of their badge to red. Now, even though EMW's history is nowhere near as illustrious as that of BMW's, they did have their own moments of glory as well. They have a place in Formula One history, participating in the 1953 German Grand Prix. Now, the EMW name was short-lived, however, as the company eventually renamed itself as the Automobile Works of Eisenach, AWE, and they went on to sell cars under the Wartburg brand. They continued to operate from the Eisenach plant for the next 35 years, introducing 6 new models during that time, most of them running on 2-stroke 3-cylinder engines. The most powerful model ever introduced by them was the Wartburg 1.3, with a Volkswagen-sourced 4-stroke 4-cylinder engine that made 58 horsepower and later upgraded to 64 horsepower. After the reunification of Germany, the AWE found itself uncompetitive and was quickly closed down on April 1991. Most of its workers eventually finding employment in the newly opened Opel plant that was situated just nearby. The Eisenach plant itself was eventually demolished, with one building preserved as a car museum that continues to operate until today. So that's it for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed watching it. As we all know, lockdown has been extended, so there will be more such home-produced content like this, in addition to our series of live streams throughout the week. Okay, so if you have any suggestions on what topics that you would like us to cover from the comforts of our home, do drop us a line in the comment section below. Head over to check out the channels of all my other team members. All right, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys. Stay safe.